Okay guys, so we decided to hit a trail type route today. Quite looking forward to it, something a little different. It's good to go out and get on some different terrain. Going to be using something a little different today as well. The Salomon Sense Ride. Very humid day out today. Must be about 16 degrees. So, gonna knock it on the head around 5k. But there's still work to be done. Alright. Hey guys, so we've been testing out the Salomon Sense Ride today. Only did 5k. I'll go into that, why I couldn't do any more than that maybe a little later. But they feel good. Probably put about 30 miles into them now. I've worn them on all sorts of conditions, so I'll give you my rundown on whether I think this is a good shoe or not back at the studio. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you saw today, I took this Salomon Sense Ride out for a quick spin around a local trail area. I'm going to give you a rundown on the shoe in terms of the fit, feel and the looks. So in terms of the fit of the Salomon Sense Ride, certainly around the toe box area, I am feeling it's a little bit narrow. There's not a huge amount of room there for me. Wished I'd sized up maybe half a size. This is a UK 11, that's my normal size, but it does feel a little bit tight, certainly around the toe box area here. I'm kind of wishing there's a little bit more room in terms of the toe box area here for my toes to splay out. It does feel a little bit cramped in there. I think this is quite common amongst the Salomon lineup. I do hear that their shoes do run a little bit narrow, a little bit snug. Maybe that's just the way it is with this manufacturer. Although that the fit is a little snug around the toe box, I've got to report that it does feel good. I've not experienced any problems there. There's no rubbing. I've not had any blistering. It just does feel quite snug and tight to me. So I've used this shoe not only on some training runs but also in a 10k race on some kind of wet and muddy trails, and it did really well in terms of the fit. I had no problems there. I didn't really want to get the shoe off, it just felt quite comfortable. So I think the fit of the Sense Ride is dictated a little bit by this quick lace system. It kind of works with the overlays on the shoe and also the kind of booty construction within the shoe to give that kind of very characteristic fit. It's probably great for some people. I'm still a little bit on the fence on it. So the lacing system kind of works in conjunction with these overlays here to provide that sort of snug fit. I've got to be honest, I've spent quite a bit of time now with this shoe, and I've kind of achieved various different levels of fit, really. I've got it spot on a couple of times, other times I've been wildly off and I've had to sort of stop and readjust the shoe. So I'm a little bit on the fence on the quick lace system. So maybe I'm used to slightly more flexible road shoes, and just because this is a trail based or trail aimed shoe, I'm not kind of used to it, but the fit does feel a lot more snug across the top of my foot here. I'm getting used to that, but it's certainly quite alien to me at present for being mainly a road runner. I've experienced no slipping here in the heel area. It was a good comfortable fit. I haven't really noticed the heel counter whatsoever. Certainly around the edge around my ankle here, I've experienced no rubbing. It's not cutting into my ankle in any way. Certainly the shoe gives an impression of protection right across through the midfoot, the toe box area, around the ankle. You do feel protected a little bit more than a road shoe. I felt that any sort of rocks, branches, things like that weren't going to sort of penetrate through and injure my foot in any way. One thing I have noticed with the quick lace system is it is quite difficult to tighten it. You need to pull back this kind of small pocket here first, so that you can then tighten the shoe and then kind of store the quick lacing system up inside that pocket. It does take a few attempts to get it right. So once you've got your head around that, it's not really a big deal, but like I said, fit, I'm not sure, I'm on the fence on it. So in terms of the feel of the Salomon Sense Ride, it is a more cushioned shoe on foot than it does appear visually. I enjoyed the slightly lower drop on this shoe. I'm used to running in shoes with like quite a higher drop, maybe 10, 12, something like that, 10, 12 millimeters. This one's got around about 8 millimeters, although where I've looked at other reviews for the shoe, they do say when measured it was down to about 5. I think it's more along the lines of about 6 or 7 mil drop. So I did enjoy that. It does feel as if the heel's kind of getting out the way of your stride as you're placing this sort of midfoot down. Felt like I was running a little bit more on my toes, which was nice. So this shoe utilizes 2 separate cushioning technologies. The one I was most interested in was called Opal. There's one which sits right under the toe area here, the forefoot, and one right at the heel. As I was landing on the midfoot in the Sense Ride, I did feel some cushioning there. It's nowhere near as much as you get from perhaps a typical road running shoe, a more cushioned shoe, but there is something there. Over the course of 10k, my feet didn't really feel fatigued at all. I could certainly feel the cushioning working, so thumbs up for that. The Sense Ride left me feeling confident in my stride as I was kind of moving forward through the race, and it's certainly given me that confidence as well while I've been running on some trails during training. The shoe features a layer around the toes here, acts as a kind of protective layer. It's relatively rigid really, although I think if you were to strike some type of tree root or something like that, you're still going to feel it. So the outsole has this kind of sticky rubber kind of feeling. So after sort of 40 odd miles that I've done in the shoe, there's no distinctive wear whatsoever. It's still looking pretty good as it was out the box. During the 10k race that I used the Sense Ride, it was across sort of dirt tracks. There was some pavement too. There was lots of mud, some tree branches, roots, all that kind of stuff. It was relatively wet as well. I experienced pretty good traction apart from in very, very thick mud. Definitely thumbs up to Salomon for the Contra Grip outsole here. I thoroughly recommend that. When running on pavement and road, the shoe felt pretty responsive. Clearly not as cushioned as a typical road shoe, but it's something there. It's kind of an in-between shoe really. You can use this on trails, you could use it on sort of road. It's sort of that shoe that sits somewhere in the middle. Due to the booty construction inside the shoe, the tongue pretty much just stays where it is. It's nicely padded, you don't really feel it moving around at all, and also that pocket, of course, hiding away the quick lace system just seems to work well. I haven't had any issues with the tongue whatsoever. The laces are made of this sort of Kevlar type material, and as you can see, as you do tighten them up, you could probably see that causing some problems there on the top of your foot. But I've had no issues with that whatsoever. I've even worn some thinner socks with these to help with that fit issue that I had, and I've had no issues with the laces kind of trying to embed themselves into the top of my foot. We did have some snow earlier on this year and some quite considerable ice on the pavements, so to get into work a couple of times I did grab this shoe and test it out. It worked pretty well on the snow and ice, slightly better on the snow. Traction was okay on the ice, didn't work particularly well, but then again, this shoe isn't really geared up to do that. There are other shoes out there from people like Salomon themselves, which are geared up really for trekking around on ice and those type of conditions. So we can't really put the Sense Ride down for that. So just finishing off my thoughts on the feel of the shoe. Certainly the upper of the Sense Ride does feel a little bit less flexible than most other training shoes that I've got. I think that's probably a good thing though. I think you want a little bit more stability. Certainly I'm still on the fence with this shoe, as you can probably hear. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to continue using it and we'll see how we go. So in terms of looks of the Salomon Sense Ride, certainly I think this is a great looking shoe. This is an awesome colourway. The first moment I saw it really, I thought that's the colourway I want to grab for this shoe. It does stand out. Some trail shoes can be kind of dark, maybe a little bit on the dull side, but certainly this one really does stand out, so I do love the colourway. But then again, it's a trail shoe. As you can see, it's got pretty muddy already. I've cleaned it off a few times. So looks for me really with this type of shoe are very much a side issue, but I think it does look great. Okay, so to draw it all to a close, guys, as you can probably tell, sizing is a bit of an issue with this shoe. There's really 3 different technologies here, and I think perhaps that's what's causing the problem. You've got the ENDO-FIT, which kind of wraps the foot. You've got the Sense Fit overlays here, these pieces here, and of course the quick lace system. And I think a combination of those 3 things are perhaps causing the problem. It certainly feels like the laces bunch here a little bit at the very top of the forefoot, and as you get down towards the toe box, it's much looser. So it's kind of an odd fit really. As I mentioned earlier with the quick lace system, I've got a multitude of different fits pretty much every time I've put this shoe on. Sometimes between the 2 shoes as well. Sometimes it's a really great fit, it feels just right. Other times I got it too tight and other times it's been too loose. So I'm not really dead set on this system. I know Kafuzi's had similar issues with a kind of similar system like this on the Gakuso Pegasus Turbos. So I'm not really dead set on this system. That said, it could be a real bargain for you if you're able to pick up this shoe and it's a great fit for you. They're going for around about £75 at the moment. The Sense Ride 2, which has been recently released, is about 110, 115. So you could save yourself quite a lot of money. I don't think there are major differences between the 2 versions of the shoe. So if you can get the original one, you could save yourself quite a lot of money and get a really great shoe that works for you. I think there's some great looks for the Salomon Sense Ride. Some interesting use of technologies that really give it some character, but you've got a confusing fit. Certainly for me, I'm still very much on the fence with this shoe. I'm going to persist with the Salomon Sense Ride up to 100 miles and see perhaps if some of those negative opinions I've got drift away and they're replaced with some more positive ones. Okay guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the review of the Salomon Sense Ride. Please hit that subscribe button down in the bottom right corner and thumbs up like any of the videos you particularly enjoyed. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications and I'll be seeing you.